All right, so for my brain model, I used a bunch of different colors of modeling clay to make my model brain. So I'm gonna give a quick run through of all the different parts that we have here and a quick explanation. So to get started, we have this pink, which is the spinal cord, which helps facilitate the transportation of information between the rest of the body to the brain. And it also helps control some base reflexes in our bodies that it would take too much time for our brain to process it and react to. So sometimes it just takes over to react to things quicker. And then next we have the white here, which is the medulla. This maintains and controls unconscious routines that we engage in, such as our breathing and our heartbeats, blinking, etc. Next, under it, we have the red clay, which is the pons. This works with the medulla to help control and maintain the respiratory system. It's also associated with REM, or random eye movement, that we engage in before we go to sleep. Next, we have this gray line that runs all the way up the cord. This is known as the reticular formation. This is the pathway between the spinal cord and the encephalon, and it plays a role in our consciousness, helping us be alert when necessary, or helping us filter out unneeded stimuli when we're trying to relax. And then over to behind that, we have the cerebellum, which is kind of the motor house of the brain in the way, coordinating conscious muscle movement as well as balance, hand-eye coordination, and cognitive function. Then we have this blue bit that's kind of underneath our reticular formation, and this is the hypothalamus. It helps regulate our biological drives and desires to eat, reproduce, sleep, etc. And it's linked to our endocrine system and therefore hormonal control. It can help us feel rewarded or accomplished after completing a task we saw as desirable or that we had a drive to complete. And then above that, we have in yellow here, we have the thalamus, which is mainly gray matter. It relays a lot of sensory information to the cerebral cortex, so it's basically just a big relay. And then the other piece of yellow clay, I didn't have that many colors, is the amygdala, which influences and regulates emotional responses, especially emotional responses including aggression and fear, while it also helps us to process and store our memories. And then wrapping around it, we have the hippocampus, which plays a major role in memory, and more specifically in our ability to learn through memory and repetition. So it can also help us process and decide what emotions to evoke given a situation that it puts us in, kind of based on our memory of previous similar experiences. And then behind that, this brown part right here is called the corpus callosum. It's a thick band that carries messages between the two hemispheres of the brain. So it's kind of like a highway to get from one part to the next. And then behind that all, this is our cerebrum, which consists of a frontal, parietal, and occipital lobe. It's the largest part of the brain, and it's responsible for most motor functions, speech, thought, emotions, reading, writing, learning, all the kind of higher forms or higher processes that our brain can engage in. And then surrounding that, this black strip is the cerebral cortex, which is a thin outer layer of the brain that's responsible for our most complex thoughts and behaviors, as well as just higher forms of mental processes in general. So yeah, that's everything I used in my brain model. It's all color coordinated. And it all just works together. So thank you for your time.